Are we?
Sure. Welcome back to another MCU review. So I'm joined by
Jonah Morgan.
Logan Wilson.
And today we're going to be talking about the sequel to the first movie in the MCU with Iron Man 2. So,
do we want to start with the little bad? The very few bad?
I wouldn't say little.
I wouldn't say little. There's a good number of things in this movie to nitpick.
But
I'm going to turn off the fan real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like on rewatch there's a lot more good this time around. We'll just mix it.
Yeah. Yeah, we can kind of just talk about it. We want to kind of go chronologically through the film.
No, it's kind of whatever comes to mind.
Sure.
So, I mean, once again, RDJ's Tony Stark.
Incredible. I mean,
once again.
every time he appears as the character, it's amazing. Literally in every single tiny scene. It doesn't matter if he's like it's not his movie. He's still amazing.
Whether it's like a solo Iron Man movie or Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, Homecoming. He appears for a few minutes and it's amazing. He's just incredible.
A lot of like the actors or a lot of the just the characters involved.
They
have a best movie. Like they have a movie in which their character is the best. Like for instance, Thor's best in Infinity War.
Easily.
Yeah.
Iron Man's the best in all of them.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's hard to choose.
There's not one. I don't think.
Yeah, really.
It's kind of hard to choose one that
No,
Iron Man is the best in.
I personally love everybody's performance in this movie. I don't think there was really any bad performances. You can kind of say I can't remember who plays Justin Hammer. I can't remember his name.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell.
I don't know if
I don't like Hammer. I really. On rewatch, Hammer is so.
He's the worst character.
He's the biggest down of the
But
movie.
like every other performance, I think is fine. Like I have no problems with Whiplash.
I've honestly got to disagree with you a little bit. I honestly really like Hammer because it's what Hammer's supposed to be. He's supposed to be like sort of like an antagonistic type character.
He's not
like a rival.
I don't think he's intended to be. If they did intend for him to be, then it wasn't good.
Here's the thing: he is because that's how he is in the comics. He's meant to be a rival company for Tony.
to start.
So but he tries to act too similar to Tony in how he acts.
That's kind of fair.
So, he's not a very. I still like him. He's still.
Okay, the scene where he's selling guns to the military for War Machine.
I do like that.
I love that scene. I think that's a great scene.
What do you want? All of it.
All of it. No, that's an amazing scene. I think that's hilarious.
Okay.
But he's really the only person I have a complaint with in this film. I think everybody else's performance is great, but I love Gwyneth Paltrow's performance in this movie.
That's literally what I was saying.
Pepper is fantastic.
I honestly think she's a little bit better here than in the first movie.
Yeah.
But
for sure she has more of a role, but yeah.
Yeah.
She'll have more room in the third one, don't worry.
Yeah. I like her in the third one too. I need to rewatch it, but yeah.
The second I was gonna say Gwyneth Paltrow is very, very good.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson immediately.
That's right. This is the introduction of Black Widow.
Bad.
And like coming into this movie, did you see her in any of the previews?
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew she was black. You could see her as
I think I was like 8 when this movie came out, but that was like my awakening.
My sexual awakening.
My awakening was not Paltrow.
People were like,
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson is like, people would say like the movie, she's really attractive. She's most attractive in this movie, and I don't care what anybody says. The long hair, like the long curly hair, absolutely.
Peak.
That's fair.
And she like chokeslams Happy with her legs. Which is
that's a great scene.
That's the first thing she does. Natalie Rushman.
That's her legs.
Yeah.
I want one.
I want one. No.
That's a great scene.
Personally, like, how you guys feel about Hammer is kind of how I feel about Whiplash. But even on rewatch, I don't think he's as bad as I remember.
Whiplash's backstory is very good.
Yeah. That is a really good backstory.
It's more drawn out than I thought.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, his dad was was the original designer of the arc reactor, and when he was going to use it for his own personal gain, right?
Yeah,
he planned to, and so Howard had him deported.
Yep.
And the
movie starts where Iron Man leaves off with the father Anton, I believe.
Yeah.
Anton
watching on TV where Tony says, "I am Iron Man," and then he dies.
He dies almost immediately.
So I do like his backstory.
So yeah, he sees that Iron Man and his family are like the reason why his childhood and life has been the way it is, and it's like he grows up in Serbia, which is not good.
Yeah.
He is very I like the fact that he's like physically intimidating when he's like has like the whips and everything, but he's also like stupid smart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
He feels almost. He's not, but he almost feels like this, like the same kind of idea of a villain as Riddler to me. Like how a lot of times he works and like because like you in the previews you saw him that one like scene on the racetrack. A lot of times he is indirectly the villain. Like he controls all the drones at a computer.
He is the main villain.
Yeah,
of the movie.
he is.
I think we just have one more character to talk about.
Like major character.
Rhodey.
Rhodey.
Oh yeah.
Rhodey.
Killer in this.
This
film.
movie made me realize how much I love Rhodey.
Yeah.
Because his suit. Don't talk about Iron Patriot, but his suit is so sick. I just love Rhodey as a character. Too.
Yeah, Rhodey as a character. Something about Don Cheadle just brings the role so much better.
And something about Don Cheadle makes you like eat in that. Okay, so in that scene where they're at the Iron Man's birthday party, where Iron Man is like belligerently drunk, it makes you root for Rhodey.
Yeah,
you're rooting for Rhodey.
Oh well, you can sort of like be seen for rooting for both of them, but
I rooted for Rhodey.
I kind of did too, but
also because Rhodey, the suit's sick.
Yeah,
it's very simple, but
in
it's
that
sick.
moment, you really feel like, man, Tony's being a. Well, you can censor me however you want there.
Rhodey whoops him.
Yeah, he does.
Like they both like kind of whoop each other around.
They both,
but Tony's also drunk.
Tony's also so drunk.
He's also hammered.
Because the thing is, like, the whole plot of the movie is Tony Stark is dying from alcohol poisoning.
Hammered.
The end of the fight is awesome.
It's
so
cool. And they bring that into play later on.
They do that again, like later in, I think, Endgame, right?
No, they do it later on in this movie.
Do they do it in Endgame?
They do it in another movie,
I'm pretty sure they do.
Infinity War, Endgame, they do it again, right?
Like, it's one of, like, those background things that they're doing. Like, for instance, in the first Avengers movie, it follows Iron Man for a little bit, and it shows Iron Man doing a blast off Cap's shield. It's like that.
Yeah, it's like how Thor and Cap do like the hammer thing.
It's like a one-off.
And then in Age of Ultron, they start doing it as a legit move.
They also do it in Endgame.
Yeah, that too.
So I think they do that again in Endgame. They like shoot the repulsor.
Also,
the only other time I remember that happening was in the end of the movie.
Another thing, how does Ivan not immediately die? How's he not dead?
Well.
He's wearing a big suit of armor.
His head was exposed.
His head was exposed, but I'm sure that helps.
But he lives.
I'm guessing most of the blast was from like the chest area.
But he lives up until he blows himself up. But you know.
But since we've already kind of started getting into this topic, well, actually first, because I'm not as big a fan of the plot of this movie as I am like the first one or even parts of the third one. But I also I'm in the minority in that I love the third one. Like, I feel about the third one how he feels about this one.
The plot of this movie, I
like it. I just think it's my least favorite plot.
I don't know if this is a good term for it. It's a clean movie.
Yes,
like, it is just very neat.
And
there's no moments where I'm like, huh?
And no, it's also a movie that, like, as a kid, did I understand this movie fully in the plot? No, but it was still fun. I think watching it now, like, it's like looking at the plot. I think it's good.
That's one thing I think I missed.
It's good. It's a good plot.
Yeah, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I think that's something I missed. Was a lot of the details.
One thing I noticed.
Flash.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, like, it's like a little, not an Easter egg, I guess, but it's a split second thing you see. So that notebook that Tony gets from that box full of Howard stuff has the Tesseract in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Because the element he makes is what the Tesseract is made of.
Yeah, that's right.
And everyone says it's vibranium. No.
Nah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so I'm not as big a fan of the plot of this movie compared to the first and third one, but I actually, on rewatch, I still think it's a good plot. So it makes sense why, like, Tony's trying to live every day like it's his last and, like, acting the way that he does. But, again, that's just me.
Also, there's a weird, minute detail that just kind of shows how this universe all connects, and this is a later film, but in Captain America, you see that Howard, like, does a lot of tests and research with the Tesseract, so it would make sense.
Yeah,
he has that information.
It's in there, and then he designs
all connects together.
And speaking of which, there is a scene, because also, once again, Coulson being the best, but there's a scene later on when Tony's, like, getting his downstairs area ready to begin working on a new arc reactor. Coulson picks something up, it's like, what's this? And it's they're setting up Captain America. They set up two different.
That's totally because I remember watching this in theaters, and I remember everyone going nuts when they held up that shield, and I go, wait, what happened? Because like there was only three. Like I wasn't as big into like superheroes as like.
I mean, no, we were like 7 and 8 years old.
Yeah, we're 7 and 8 years old, so they held, and a whole bunch of people like went nuts.
And
I knew it wasn't
because that wasn't like a preview or anything. That was a tease. It was just, hey, look, Captain America.
I knew purely from video games. This was the first movie first Marvel film I saw in the theaters. So I knew purely because of a video game, but...
My first Marvel movie I ever saw in theaters
Avengers?
wasn't... Yeah, it was Avengers, yeah. So that scene is cool where they set up Captain America, and we'll get to the post-credit scene at the end. But can we talk... But arguably what I think is like something I have always adored from this movie are the action scenes.
I was going to say the fight between Rhodey and Iron Man is fantastic, and the last fight...
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
I had so many times, like a couple months ago, where I just randomly rewatched that last fight.
Dude, it's cool.
Where it's like all the
entire last scene, the entire last sequence is awesome.
Oh yeah, the flying chase scene.
Yeah,
and also the kid who tries blasting the robot is Peter
that's
Parker.
Peter, right? They confirmed that's Peter.
That kid with the Iron Man mask who held up like the toy glove is confirmed to be Peter Parker. But that entire sequence is cool. The entire flying scene, the last fight scene with all the drones was awesome. Probably what is the best fight scene in the movie, and we'll talk about the suit in it later. But the racetrack fight scene,
fight scene is really good.
It's very cool.
It's very like short and abridged, but it's still really good.
It's short, but it works because it has so many iconic shots and like poses for Iron Man to do.
Yeah,
it's like 2 or 3 in like the span
of
5 seconds.
That like kind of like more less armored version of Whiplash. It's so cool.
Yeah,
it's really so cool. And he's like chopping up the like cars as they go by.
That also,
it's awesome.
I mean, you said you were going to talk about armors there, but it gives my favorite Iron Man armor ever.
I remember being obsessed as a
suitcase.
kid. I was obsessed with that as a kid.
So I think
so cool.
We kind of talked about everything. So how would we get to just the suits as a whole?
Because Happy holds up that briefcase, and I'm like, dude, that looks like Iron Man. And I'm like, does he really have like? When I'm first watching this movie, I'm like, does he really have just a briefcase that's like an Iron Man design? Nope, it's a suit. Nope, it's a suit, and it has like a little like necklace thing on it. I don't know what that is, but it's funny.
It's probably like some sort of like, I don't know what it is.
Happy's fantastic in this movie.
Oh yeah,
Happy's really good.
Happy's one of the funniest
scenes ever. Did Favreau direct this film?
Yes, he did.
He did. Okay, yeah.
This was the last one he directed,
and a co-executive producer.
Yeah, gotcha. But I love the scene when Widow is fighting all of those different people when they go to try and find Hammer.
Beats up that guy.
Yeah. He's beating up one, and he's like,
got him.
He's like, I got him. Looks up, and there's like 10 people unconscious.
And so he, she gets out of the car, and she says she loves to stay in the car. She's like, okay, I will. And then he quickly goes in.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But suits. So I guess we'll start off with was your guys' favorite. I'm assuming.
Oh, the suitcase.
The Mark 5.
Absolutely.
So cool.
I don't know about my favorite. I
mean in this movie.
Yes. I don't know though.
The suitcase suit is my favorite Iron Man suit.
What is it? The Mark 6 is the one that he ends up with. That one is really.
We'll talk about that first.
It's iconic.
Laser cartridges.
But first, Mark 5.
I remember being obsessed with it as a child. I thought it was so freaking cool.
That was like the poster.
I know it was a poster of the film.
Posters.
It was a lot of cover art, and it was super freaking cool.
If it could fly,
oh my god,
man!
I mean, it was so freaking cool. It was like, oh my gosh, portable Iron Man.
And then it.
And you want to talk? And this is a contender for the best. I don't think this tops Mark 3 in terms of suit ups, but that suit up,
it's cool.
Oh,
it's cool.
So good
because and then in all the posters and stuff, it's not like mint condition. It's got that like burn mark. It's got that burn mark on its chest.
As soon as he suits up, he immediately gets hit with it,
and it still looks good.
Yeah, and with how many Iron Man suits we have, they're like red and gold. Yeah. Because of how few there are, I'm such a sucker for red and silver
for
suits.
ones that like break up the monotony.
Give me a red and black suit.
I was a big fan of the 42 purely because of the slight color difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was a big fan
of that.
We'll get to that later.
But yeah, so the Mark 5 is really cool. It's not my favorite suit in this movie though. I think my favorite suit in this movie is up there as one of the most underrated Iron Man suits ever. I am such a sucker for the Mark 4.
That's the one he starts with?
I am such a sucker for that suit. And I can't
yeah,
that's the one he flies down in the very beginning.
It's a cleaner version of the 3.
Yeah,
it's just a cleaner version.
It's like
I do think I still prefer 3. The Mark 4 is just, It
feels less clunky than 3. 3 feels a little clunky because it's his first full-fledged suit, which makes sense.
All 3 suits in this movie bangers.
Yeah, no, visually they look so good.
Because 6 has got a triangle, man.
They look so good. Yeah, the triangle is iconic.
Mark 4, I think, is one of the most underappreciated Iron Man suits. But you can't deny that the Mark 6 is still awesome. Because also, the Mark 6 is the only Iron Man suit to be used in multiple movies.
Yeah.
Every other, by Tony. Because Mark 2, in the first one, the second one.
Right.
Which we will get to War Machine in a second. But the Mark 6 is one of the only ones where it's used in multiple movies.
It shows up in this movie
and the Mark 6 just looks so
it
cool.
Does
and
look
it
so
paired
good.
with War Machine fits so well.
The side-by-side shots of them look so good.
That's what I would have chosen to be the poster for the movie.
Probably.
But the side-by-side shot. There probably was.
War Machine, though.
That's so cool.
I think it's freaking hilarious how much quicker he picks up on how to use the suit than Tony did.
That's fair.
I think it kind of makes sense, though. He's an Air Force pilot.
He's trained. Yeah.
He's an Air Force pilot.
Yeah. And it makes sense, and he's a more experienced
He's more
fighter,
experienced in terms of, G-forces and stuff like that.
Piloting. He's probably a better, fist fighter.
He's probably a better fighter than Tony.
He's more experienced with because he picks up the flying
Just like that. He's able to leave.
Bye.
Peace.
He leaves almost instantly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the War Machine. I think this is probably War Machine's best suit. I don't think.
I forget his Civil War one's slimmer, isn't it?
Yeah, I do like the Civil War one.
This one's bulky, man.
Was the Civil War one the one with the freaking nightstick?
Yeah,
that made me laugh.
Yeah, that was funny.
And Civil War one has that weird. It's not a circle. It's a weird
rectangle.
Almost like a rectangle.
I think that's how it is for Tony. I don't know about for Rhodey.
I don't need to look that up.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Not soon enough.
But no, it's so good.
One more. Well, I guess 2. This actually ties in really well. The scene with Fury in the donut shop. Hilarious.
Fury and Coulson. What is it? Coulson says. He says that he'll do if Iron Man leaves his house.
He's like, I'll tase you and I'll watch something.
I'll watch the nanny
on the floor.
I'll watch
the nanny.
It's so good.
On the floor
I love Agent Coulson. I love Clark Gregg.
Yeah, but I do like the end of the scene where it's Fury says that the Avengers initiative has been scrapped or shut down apparently, and then the post-credit scene with seeing Thor's hammer.
Ooh. And it's literally just a scene from Thor.
Yeah,
they have that same exact thing from Thor.
Well, I think that's the best kind of post-credit scene.
I mean, that's the same way, and we'll get to it. But that's kind of the whole
point of Phase 1.
The beginning, the Phase 1 and credit scenes are often just scenes from the next movie.
Depending on the movie.
So they were filming. So they were filming.
Unless you're Captain America, the second post-credit scene is just the trailer for the next movie.
Yeah.
So I do like how this movie set up the Avengers a lot more. Because they know all right, we for sure have a plan.
Oh, this movie has so much setup. They introduce characters. Well,
they set up characters.
Captain America, Thor, Widow.
Yeah, they set
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye's the next time.
Right. Hawkeye's and Thor. But they give more Nick Fury. They show you him a little bit more. They introduce Black Widow.
So
they further develop Tony. I mean, you can just see it happening, and it's so cool.
Okay, so overall thoughts on the movie.
I'm gonna go first.
You go first. I
have a number in mind.
Because I think you might have the highest score.
What did I give Iron Man?
You gave it a 9.
What did I give Iron Man in the last one?
You gave it 8.7.
I think I said 8.5 or 9. I'm gonna go 8.5 just because I'm making Iron Man 2 a 9.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. I love Iron Man 2.
It's enjoyable.
I love Iron Man 2.
It's so enjoyable. I enjoyed it so much.
The villain is, I don't think, it's just a different kind of villain from Iron Man. I'm not going to say either one of them is better, although Ironmonger's probably still widely considered to be better.
I prefer Ironmonger.
They're just different. They're very different. They're very different. One's, one's a Serbian who, grew up on the streets, and the other is a tycoon.
Yeah.
That's
the
other's a backstabbing friend.
Love this movie. One of the best recasts ever.
Yeah, that's fair.
Don Cheadle's fantastic. I love Don Cheadle. We didn't talk about the opening scene where Don Cheadle comes into the hearing. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
That's true. That entire scene was funny.
One of the best recastings ever. I love the villain. One of my dad's favorite actors is Mickey Rourke. That's another reason why I love.
Okay.
What's another reason I love Whiplash? Yeah. All the suits are fantastic. The race car scene is amazing. Elon Musk is in this movie.
Elon Musk is
right.
I forgot to mention
He looks
that.
like a baby. He looks so like much younger.
And she's with, and you know who he's with? Christine.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
That is funny.
And then she basically ditches him when she sees Tony is suiting up for the race.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's so enjoyable. I'm going with a 9, a definitive 9. That's not going to change.
That's like I won't give it that high, but I respect that high of a score because it's definitely.
I love Iron Man. I maintained that I will stick to my guns because when we did Iron Man, I said that Iron Man 2 was my favorite of the Iron Man series. I'm going to stick to my guns.
That's fair. I think I would prefer to stick to my guns, with the first one being my favorite. But
I think Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 1 are very close for me, but I give Iron Man 2 that slight edge.
They're all kind of spread out for me. I think 2 and 3 are closer for me. But Logan, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go for it. No, this movie is so enjoyable on rewatch. I mean, I missed a lot, I guess, the last time I watched it because I really put some focus when I watched it this time, and I enjoyed so much of it. And a good tell for that is the fact that I was watching this at 2 in the morning, and I was not falling asleep.
Me too.
I was not falling asleep. I was watching this at 2 a.m.
I watched this at 2 in the morning, and I had a class.
I watched this at 7 at night. What's wrong with you?
No, I was watching this at 2 in the morning. I didn't finish Thor till like 4 a.m.
Oh my God.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
I finished Thor at 4:20.
Yep.
I watched Thor last night at 6.
No, but I was watching this movie like at 2 in the morning, and I was not falling asleep. I was dozing off a little bit during Thor, but it was also 3 a.m.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
No, I was watching this back, and I just loved it. I'm gonna give it. I can't put it on the level of Iron Man 1. I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
So close.
Very close. Very close for me.
Interesting. Okay, I respect that. So for me, I do not praise the movie as much as they do, but on rewatch, the amount of fun I had with this movie, it's like the issues that I personally have with it aren't as big this time around. And the most important factor for me watching a movie is it fun? Am I having a fun time?
Are you enjoying it?
And I absolutely was having a blast with this. And I view Iron Man 3 in the exact same way. So,
I think I need to rewatch that movie.
Now, I love Iron Man 3, but we'll get to that. So, I think for my score, I'm going to go a little bit lower than you guys, but not too much lower. I'm going to stick with a 7.5. I was thinking a little bit, like, originally I had it like a 6, and then a rewatch.
Oh!
Well, 6 for me is like, because originally it was average for me. Now I say it's above average now.
Oh, it's...
Well, in my eyes, like, it was a lot of fun to rewatch. I adore the suits. I love the action. The story, while I'm not as big a fan of, I thought it was still enjoyable enough of a story. And I'm going to stick to my guns with a 7.5. And it'll probably stick with that. It could be an 8 depending on my mood, but I think I'm going to stick with a 7.5. The movie was so much fun. And that wraps up Iron Man 2. So next time, which we're going to be recording right after this, we have
Thor.
Thor. My thoughts on this have kind of just stayed the same.
Really?
We'll get to it.
Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad thoughts, but still just, they've stayed the same. And then the next time that we meet, we're doing Captain America, the First Avenger.
Very excited for that one.
The best movie series.
Facts.
I've seen this movie so many times. I honestly don't even need to rewatch it. I've watched this movie probably more than like any Marvel movie.
Avengers is that way for me.
And then Avengers.
I won't have to rewatch that movie, but I'm going to.
Oh, I'm going to.
We need to watch that together.
Yeah, and we need to get Jackson here.
We should have Jackson for that one.
Son of Jack.
Son of Jack.
Son of Cole.
Son of Cole.
Son of Cole.
Son of Cole.
But anyways, let us know what you guys thought of Iron Man 2 down below, and we will see you guys next time for Thor.
Yeah.
Later with it.
Yeah.